It was supposed to be a regular Thursday evening, just another routine trip to Walmart. Hannah Williams, a 26-year-old nursing student in Fort Worth, Texas, had a list in her hand and earbuds in her ears as she parked her silver Toyota Corolla in the massive lot outside the local Walmart supercenter. The sun was setting, casting long shadows across the lot. She didn't think much of it. Walmart was always busy, even late in the evening. But this night, this one was different. As she pushed her cart through the automatic doors, Hannah barely noticed the tall man near the entrance, wearing a black hoodie. He stood unusually still, face tilted slightly downward. Maybe he was waiting for someone. Maybe not. Hannah didn't glance twice. If she had, she might have noticed something strange in his posture. But she was already inside, weaving through the produce aisle. It started subtly. A faint feeling. The kind of thing you dismiss as paranoia. She felt watched. She turned slightly and saw no one. Just an older woman scanning bananas, a dad with 2 kids arguing over cereal, and a teenage employee stocking lettuce. Hannah shook it off. It had been a long week of night shifts and sleepless study hours. She continued with her list: milk, eggs, detergent, and some frozen dinners. When she turned into the pet aisle, the hairs on the back of her neck stood up. She suddenly had this cold, gnawing feeling in her stomach. She looked up. There he was. The same man from the entrance. The black hoodie. Still wearing it. He wasn't pretending to shop. He just stood at the end of the aisle, staring at her. Not browsing. Not looking away. Just watching. Her heart started pounding. Hannah gripped her phone tightly and acted like she was texting someone. She turned her cart around and walked the other way. But her instincts were firing alarms now. She glanced behind her. He hadn't moved. Not a step. Still staring. Trying to convince herself it was a coincidence, she circled around into a different section. Household cleaning products. She stayed there for a while, pretending to compare brands of air fresheners, hoping the feeling would pass. But it didn't. When she glanced up again, he was there. A few aisles over. Closer this time. No cart. No basket. Still staring. Still not blinking. His face was hard to make out under the hood, but it looked pale, expressionless. Hannah finally texted her roommate, Olivia. Hannah, hey, I think I'm being followed in Walmart. Some guy keeps staring at me. Hoodie, maybe 6 foot tall. I'm not kidding. Olivia. What? That's not okay. Go find a staff member or security. That made sense. She pushed her cart quickly down to the electronics section where she'd seen the security desk before. But oddly, no one was there. No employee, no security. The desk lights were off. She felt like she was losing her mind. As she turned around, he was right there. Just a few feet away now. Hannah gasped and stumbled back, knocking over a display of phone chargers. The man didn't react. Didn't say a word. Just stared at her. She caught the glimpse of something in his hand, something shiny. But when she blinked, it was gone, tucked into his sleeve or pocket. Excuse me, do you need help with something? She said loudly, hoping to draw attention. Still nothing. His mouth twitched slightly, almost a smirk, but no words. Hannah grabbed her phone and dialed 911. That's when he finally moved. He turned and walked away. Slowly. Like nothing happened. The dispatcher picked up, and Hannah tried to explain the situation. She was scared, breathing hard, stumbling over her words. She gave them the store address, a description, and they said an officer would be dispatched. But when she turned back around, he was gone. Like, completely vanished. She stood there frozen, scanning the area. He wasn't at the end of the aisle. Not by the checkout. Nowhere near the front doors. She backed away slowly, pushing her cart toward the front, nearly abandoning her groceries. Just as she reached the exit, she bumped into a Walmart employee, a tall, bearded guy with a name tag that said Chris. He looked at her worried face and asked if she was okay. She explained everything quickly. The man, the following, the odd silence. Chris frowned. Let's check the security footage, he said, leading her behind the customer service area into a small room with monitors. What she saw chilled her to the bone. On the footage, There she was, walking through the pet aisle, glancing behind her. But when she pointed to where the man should be, he wasn't there. None of the cameras had caught him. In fact, on the footage, it looked like she was reacting to nothing. Every aisle she claimed he was in, she was alone. Even the electronics section, where she said he was standing a few feet away, showed only her. No tall man. No hoodie. No one. Hannah felt like she was going to faint. Chris frowned again and looked at her seriously. Are you sure you saw him? I mean, maybe you were just tired. No, I know I saw him, she insisted. He was real. He looked right at me. He followed me around the whole store. Chris hesitated, then leaned in slightly. You're not the first person to say that, he said quietly. There's been stories. From a few other shoppers. Women mostly. Saying they felt followed. By someone who doesn't show up on the footage. Hannah's mouth went dry. What do you mean? He sighed. Back in 2019, before the remodel, there was a guy who used to come in here all the time. Just stood around. Didn't shop. Security had to escort him out more than once. Then one night, he followed a woman out to her car. Hannah's heart was pounding. They found her unconscious by her vehicle. No memory of what happened. Nothing stolen. And no footage of him anywhere. The weird part was he showed up on 0 cameras. None. Like he didn't exist. Was he caught? Chris shook his head slowly. Nope. Police never found him. People started saying it was some sort of ghost story. Urban legend stuff. But a few employees say they've seen him, just like you described. Hannah stepped back, chilled to her core. You're telling me that thing followed me, and it might not even be real? Chris shrugged. Or it's real, but not explainable. This place is old. It used to be built over a different property before it became a Walmart. Some say there were crimes that happened here decades ago, but that's all just rumor. Hannah left that night with no groceries and a heart full of fear. For the next several nights, she didn't sleep well. She felt like someone was outside her window. Sometimes, in the middle of the night, her phone would light up with unknown numbers. Never any voicemail. Just a single ring. Then silence. 2 weeks later, she returned to Walmart during daylight. She didn't want to, but curiosity pulled her back. She walked the aisles cautiously, gripping her keys, eyes darting from one side to another. Nothing happened, until she reached the back corner where the pet food was. She stood there a while, almost testing fate. Then she saw it, etched faintly into the metal shelf. Hannah. It was scratched in, faint, almost invisible unless you looked at the right angle. She backed away, heart racing, and turned to leave. And there, just outside the window by the garden center, stood the same man. Watching. Still. Expressionless. She ran to the front, reported it again. But of course, no one saw him. Not even on camera. To this day, Hannah won't step foot in that Walmart again. She drives 20 minutes out of town to shop elsewhere. She